helping people stop smoking involves a bit of art and a bit of science. The art you probably are pretty good at. That's the developing rapport with people. You want people to come back and see you no matter what happens. The science, as it happens, isn't too difficult either. And there are a range of behaviour change techniques that will help people in their quit attempt. Now, you'll learn about the full range of these, but I'm going to give you the top 5. Now, these top 5 are the ones that are definitely associated with a good outcome. Now, number one is developing rapport. You want to develop a really close relationship with your client. You want them to trust you. You want them to trust your advice. You want them to come back and see you, no matter if their quit attempt fails in the first instance. You can help them back on track. Number 2 is using carbon monoxide monitoring as a motivational tool. Now, as part of this program, you'll learn how to use a carbon monoxide monitor. Now, you can use a CO monitor to check up on people. That's a relatively good lie detector. But that's not how you're going to use it primarily. Now, when people are still smoking, they blow into this monitor. They'll get a smoker's reading. Now, that's typically above 10 parts per million. When they do that, the carbon monoxide monitor will beep, it will flash. They'll say, "What does that mean?" You say, "Don't worry, that's a smoker's reading." The good news is that when you stop smoking, you'll see that CO reading drop to a non-smoker's level, less than 5 parts per million. Within the first week of not having a single puff, you'll see that change. And that's what people really want to see. In fact, they'll probably come back to you after the quit attempt and not want to talk to you, but head straight for the monitor saying, "Let me blow into that, I want to see what my CO reading is." So using CO monitoring as a motivational tool is a key behaviour change technique. Third, explaining the rationale for not having a single puff. Now, if you remember, this goes back to that little green monster on your shoulder. It's about trying to explain to people how to get through the quit attempt and the importance of doing this without a single puff. Remember, 1 puff is all it takes to go straight back to smoking. Many of your clients will already know this, but a reminder is very good. And so explaining the rationale clearly, use that analogy of the little green monster on the shoulder. It will help people see the rationale for why they should do this. Don't just go in saying, "Right, I've been told you need to stop smoking and not have a single puff after the quit date." Be gentle with them. A lot of people will be a bit worried or scared about quitting smoking abruptly. But you've got tools and support in place to make that quit attempt much easier. Many smokers will understand the rationale when you explain it properly. And that leads on to the 4th behaviour change technique, gaining commitment to not having a single puff. Now, this can be a little bit difficult to do, and there's no right or wrong way to do it. What I like to do, if I'm seeing people individually, I'll say to them, "Now that I've explained the importance of not having a single puff, can I hear you say back to me that you'll do everything you possibly can until I see you next week, everything you possibly can not to have a single puff?" And I usually sit there saying, "What, you want me to say that to you?" I said, "Yeah, I want to hear you say it." You want to hear some commitment from your clients. You really want to hear them say they're going to put everything into this quit attempt. You know if they can get through the first week, they're 10 times more likely to be quit at 4 weeks' time. The importance of a good start must be stressed. Once they've reached the quit date, it's not a single puff. And do everything you possibly can to help them achieve that. The 5th of the top 5 is giving good information about every stop smoking medicine. And you'll need to go through each of these, explaining how it works, what the common side effects are. Because one of the problems with stop smoking medicines is people don't use them correctly or for long enough. And so you'll get some practice in knowing what to say. If you do nothing else, make sure you cover these top 5. Develop and maintain good rapport with your clients. Use carbon monoxide monitoring as a motivational tool. Make sure you explain the rationale and the importance of not having a single puff after the quit date and gain commitment to that. And if you find a good way to do that, let me know. And finally, make sure that you describe and explain all the stop smoking medicines that are available to people. If you're doing this, you're going to give people the best chance in stopping smoking for good.